cross country brings home the title.
And men's swim and dive wins big at home.
All of this and more coming up on the Penguin Rundown. And welcome in once again to the Penguin Rundown. I'm your host for this week, Caleb Ellison, alongside Dylan Lux. And Dylan, I know last week there were some people who may have looked like us talking about some men's basketball, but I can confirm this week it's just us.
No imposter syndrome from me this week, Caleb. I hope for you there's none as well. Just good to be, you and I back in the studio, nobody else.
And speaking of authenticity, when it comes to their fullest form, the YSU football team had a great Halloween weekend as they defeated the Missouri State Bears on October 28th in a final score of 44-28. Despite trailing 7-0 in the first quarter, Youngstown State scored 24 unanswered points between the second and third quarters and took the lead early in the third, 38-14. Senior quarterback Mitch Davidson had a historic game against the Bears defense as he threw for a career-best 390 yards while going 26 for 33 and 4 touchdowns. Senior Bryce Oliver also had a career-high day in receiving as he had 169 yards on 6 receptions to go along with 2 touchdowns. The Penguins ride a 2-game winning streak and sit 5-3 overall with a 3-2 record in MVFC play. They will hit the road again this Saturday when they take on the Indiana State Sycamores in the Terre Haute, Indiana. Kickoff is slated for 1 p.m. The game will be streamed live on ESPN Plus and MyYTV, as well as on radio at 570 WKBN. With quarterback Mitch Davidson having a career day, we're going to get a deeper dive into it as Taziah Howard has this week's Penguin Player of the Week.
Thanks, guys. Welcome back to the Penguin Player of the Week, which is none other than quarterback Mitch Davidson, who had a career-high stout performance of 390 passing yards and 4 total touchdowns. And that was only in the first half. This gifted him the stat line and gifted him the Missouri Valley Conference Offensive Player of the Week. Davidson's pocket passing and high-scoring offense led the Penguins to the W on homecoming weekend. Congratulations goes out to Mitch Davidson. Back to you guys.
The men's and women's cross-country teams had fantastic results in the Horizon League Championships on October 28th. The men's back-to-back conference victories is just the 4th time in school history. Senior Hunter Christopher finished 4th in 2022 and 2nd in 2021 before winning his first solo cross-country title. Christopher ran an outstanding 24:04 in the men's 8K, finishing 10 seconds faster than the other competitors. Senior Ryan Meadows came in second behind Christopher with a time of 24:13 to take the top spots. For the women's squad, they came in 5th overall as 6 Penguins secured spots in the top 50 rankings. Graduate student Morgan Cole came in 2nd place as she had one of her best performances in the women's 6K and finished with a time of 20:50. This feat marks the 6th consecutive year that Cole has placed in the top 6. Both teams will be back in action on November 10th as the Penguins will compete in the NCAA Great Lakes Regional Championships at the Thomas Zimmer Championship cross-country course in Madison, Wisconsin. The women's 6K is scheduled for 12:30 p.m., with the men's 10K following at 1:30 p.m.
The Youngstown State University bowling team claimed its first tournament win since 2019 at the Destination Orlando Sunshine State Classic. The tournament began on Friday, October 27th, where the Penguins won 4 out of 5 matches to sit in 3rd place by the end of the day. On Saturday, the Penguins dropped 4 matches in an underwhelming performance. Despite the losses, the total pinfall number from Friday and Saturday combined allowed the Penguins to stay in the top 4 in the tournament. Sunday was championship day for YSU. The Penguins took down 1-seed Vanderbilt, 5-seed Stephen F. Austin, and swept 7-seed Jacksonville State to win first place in the tournament. Junior Jade Cote was named the tournament MVP. The Penguins will ride the momentum for 2 weeks when they compete at the Lady Jack Classic hosted by Stephen F. Austin from November 10th through the 12th. For updates, visit the bowling page at ysusports.com.
The Youngstown State men's and women's swimming and diving teams hosted Niagara and St. Francis at the Beagley Natatorium this past Sunday. The men's team defeated Niagara 170-92 with seniors Gavin Webb, Soma Albert, and junior Alexa Radenovich leading the team. Webb won the freestyle events with times of 4:39 in the 500 free and 9:49 in the 1,000 free. For the backstroke events, Albert finished with times of 52.08 in the 100 and 1:54 in the 200. Radenovic won both butterfly events and finished with times of 49.81. The women's team fell to Niagara 166-96 and to St. Francis 165.5 to 96.5. The Penguins were led by sophomore Miriam Frass, who won both freestyles in the 200 free. She finished with a time of 155 and 10:38 in the 1,000 free. The Youngstown State men's and women's swim and dive teams will be back in action this Saturday to compete against Cleveland State at the Bubsy Natatorium.
The YSU women's soccer team concluded its season and missed out on the Horizon League playoffs as it fell to Robert Morris on October 25th with a final score of 2-1 at Farmers National Bank Field inside the Covelli Sports Complex. Despite the loss, Justine Apollonia connected to sophomore Chloe Weiland on a free kick, which would put the Penguins' lone goal on the board. For Weiland, it marks her 4th goal as she finishes her historic sophomore season with 11 total points. The Penguins finished their season with a record of 7 wins, 7 losses, and 3 ties overall, and finished conference play with a record of 3-5-2.
The YSU men's tennis team concluded its fall campaign at the Cleveland State Vikings Invitational from October 27th through the 29th. At the Medical Mutual Tennis Pavilion, the Penguins earned 12 singles wins and 6 double victories against Cleveland State. For the Penguins, Oder Balsi led the way by picking up 4 singles wins and advanced to the backdraw finals on Sunday. The men's tennis team will be back in action in the spring. To keep up to date with the team, you can visit ysusports.com.
The Youngstown State volleyball team went toe-to-toe with the University of Milwaukee on October 27th, but fell short over 5 sets, 3-2. Elise Moeller and Abby Householder recorded a double-double as they combined for a total of 32 kills and 21 digs. The Penguins rounded out their road trip against Green Bay on October 28th. The Penguins were unable to establish any offense and got swept over 3 sets. Despite the loss, Moeller recorded another double-double, with 5th-year senior Josie Borum also recording a double-double of her own. Youngstown State will return home for a 3-game stint to finish out the remainder of their season. The first game will be against IUPUI on November 3rd, first service set for 6 p.m., and that game will be live on ESPN+. And so with the women's basketball team coming right around the corner, we're going to get a deeper look against their home opener opponent, Xavier University. Andrew Peterson, take it away.
The Youngstown State University women's basketball team will look to defend the Beagley Center as they host Xavier University at 6:30 p.m. The Musketeers come into the matchup with first-year head coach Billy Chambers. She previously spent 10 seasons at Iona University and led the Gales to an NCAA tournament berth 2 times in her career, as well as 2 regular season championships. Last season, Xavier went 7-23 overall and 0-20 in the Big East Conference. The team also returns 3 of its top 5 scorers from last season, with senior guard Michaela Scarlett averaging 10.9 points per game. The Musketeers also returned the team's assist leader and premier rebounder with senior guard Shelby Calhoun. For the Penguins to take down the Musketeers, they will have to beat them in the air as 6'2" graduate student Nyla Blackford averaged 5.5 rebounds a game and led the Big East Conference in steals. Can we see the Youngstown State women's basketball team start off the young campaign strong, or will we see Xavier University bounce back from a tough season last season? We'll find out next time when we meet the team.
Thank you, Andrew, for the update. Again, that will be next Wednesday, November 8th at Beagley Center against Xavier University for the women's basketball home opener. That is all the time we have here at the Penguin Rundown today. Thank you for watching. To stay up to date with everything related to YSU athletics, you can visit ysusports.com. And to stay up to date with everything in the Penguin Rundown, you can follow us on X and Instagram at Penguin Rundown 1. I've been Caleb Ellison.
And I've been Dylan Lux.
Stay safe, Penguin Nation.